Welcome to Dravo Vane. Now, this rookie deputy, he actually, like we said, the sheriff would ask them, his deputies, to go out and kind of keep an eye on the house at times, sometimes even off duty or maybe on duty. And sometimes when he would ask for volunteers, the rookie deputy's like, I'll do it, because you got to realize the oldest daughter, who just turned 18, there was a little love interest going on between the two of them. So he was willing to go out there to see her. It was an opportunity to go out to see her. But he wasn't buying into the Bigfoot werewolf theory that was being put out there at the time. And then, it did involve other law enforcement, as Sebastian's already said. And so there's a couple of those strange things that happened leading up. I'm calling it the Night of Terror, but, it depends on how your view is, what you want to call it. After we get done telling this story, you can tell us what you think, if it's a Night of Terror or what. But again, as unbelievable as it sounds, we believe it really happened. We believe this thing really happened. I actually don't want to buy into the werewolf theory, but I tell you, coming from the source that it did, I believe it. I believe this may have really happened. But anyways, let's get into it with, this rookie deputy's, the love interest. I can't blame him. Would you blame him? He's like, hey, I got an opportunity to go out to see, I guess, my girlfriend.
So the girl just turned 18. This deputy was 21, going on 22. He was out of the academy. He was fresh out of the academy. He was with a field training officer, an FTO.
A greenhorn.
You're right. Well, he would always go out because in this state, you have to, out of the academy, you have to work with a ranking officer to show you the ropes. He would go there off duty. So he would be there off duty, sometimes, most of the time in uniform, and they would allow them to have take-home vehicles. He would have a take-home vehicle, even though he was a rookie, he would have a take-home vehicle.
But he was working with the county, though, right?
He was a county sheriff, right.
Right.
All right. And occasionally, the state troopers or state highway patrol or state police, whatever they wanted to be called in this particular state, would either relieve him or he would relieve them. But this rookie would always be off duty. Now, he would do stuff on duty with another, I guess, would be sergeant. But he would always volunteer because he really liked the oldest daughter.
And she liked him, so it was mutual.
Liked him too. And it was no hanky-panky. It was purely respectful.
Right.
And he would sit there and he would keep a journal, a log, off duty of the interactions that was going around. He would hear the house. He would hear noises in the woods. The girl would bring him out food that she would make and prep.
Let's give this rookie deputy a name. What are we going to call him? They just call him Rookie Deputy. Let's give him a name.
Let's give him something funny.
I don't know, but
What's this show that you used to like, Andy Griffith?
Barney?
We'll give him Barney. Deputy Barney. There we go.
There we go. We don't know we honestly don't know his
Jeremiah
real name.
knows his real name. Let me tell the viewers, all right? So everything, if you believe conspiracy theories, this is going to be up your alley, all right? Because this happened, and it's been swept under the rug. Like, higher-ups, officials don't want this leaked out. What Jeremiah saw doesn't exist anymore. The paper trail has vanished like a fart.
And as we know about leaks, they always leak out. But as you're saying, yeah, what we're building up to, all these strange things are happening, like there's, people mysteriously missing. That's why it's involving either state troopers or whatever it is as well. So there's a lot of strange things, and like we've already said, this triangle area, if you will, if you want to believe the Bermuda Triangle, but only this is the land version. But weird things are happening, and weird things continue to happen leading up to what, the big night, the big finale, if you will. And refresh my memory, was the Bigfoot guy had come back out again, right? As this was happening?
We have the sheriff that makes regular visits out here, and he's not being called. There's stuff that's going on his property that not only is the sheriff concerned, and also the young deputy and the rookie, or the same person. The state police are now coming out on this property that they have been, I'm not saying ordered, but higher ups like, I want you to observe this area because this is in a triangle area, unsolved murders. People on this property or this family on this property is having some wild shit happen. Dead dog, farm animals missing, claw marks on the house, weird strange howlings, and what we didn't tell your viewers, you mentioned the mercury light. It was a mercury light.
Oh yeah, on the barn door, right.
The game warden, the sheriff, and the Bigfoot researchers out there looking, something is unscrewing the light bulb.
And that's about 10 feet off the ground. Something's unscrewing it.
Right, something's unscrewing it. And let's go back now. So we talked about the cow that they can't account for. They had 4 cows, all right. One they found slaughtered. One, we didn't tell the viewers, they found another one dead, but it looked like there was a scuffle around it, that this cow didn't get slaughtered. Like something interrupted the slaughter of this cow. There's a 3rd cow that was unaccounted for, which supposedly, if you want to believe this story, was shown back up in the fencing, and the fencing in between the barn and that oak tree, that 10-foot gap, was fixed. Something that didn't have modern day tools fixed this torn down fencing, the barbed wire, and the concertina wire. So this cow miraculously reappeared, and the fencing was fixed because the father and son the next day was going to fix it. And they go out there. We'll call the cow Molly. Molly shows up, and the fencing is fixed.
And this is all overnight.
All overnight, and the mercury light was unscrewed.
Again.
So,
but as we're leading up to what happened the big night, as we said, strange things have been happening for a while now, but what's leading up to this, it gets even more eerie, if you will, because now what they were hearing before, occasionally coming up on the wraparound porch, is coming up each night, if I remember right.
Correct. So the young rookie, we'll call him Rookie, we'll call him
Barney,
all right, likes the daughter. The father's going to town to do something, leaving the mother out there, the daughters, the son, and the 2 dogs left. The mother, and the mother would make dinner, or the daughter would make dinner for Barney. Well, this night he was invited in. He was actually on duty, all right? And he's supposed to be with an acting sergeant. The acting sergeant came down with the flu. Somehow they just made it where this Barney, this rookie, was on duty, but he was, for his shift, to stay on this premises, watch the premises, don't act in any calls, nothing. Your job on this is you're going to stay on this property and watch what anything happen. So he's eating inside with the family.
So he's on duty, so that means he has his radio on him.
He has his radio, he's in uniform, and the sheriff, Bailey, was like, Rookie, we can't send you out to make calls because you're under the what is it they do? The field training officers, you're under a trial and error. It's when you come out. I forgot what it's called. All right.
I know what you're talking about too, and I can't think of the word.
He's under probation. He's on probation as far as work probation.
And also something that I don't think we've mentioned yet, even though the family has cell phones, but there's really no cell phone service out there.
There's no reception.
Reception. So they do have landlines out there. Had that put in. So it's kind of important. Well, not kind of. It's very important that this rookie Barney the deputy, has his radio on him. So if anything happens, he'll get that straight call in, which is going to happen.
All right, so this is the night before the full moon. This happens the night before the terror. All right, he's inside. The father is, I want to say actually the father is in town meeting with the Bigfoot guy and the sheriff because he's telling them about the fences being built, our cows back, and the damn mercury light keeps getting unscrewed. Like concealment here. This deputy sheriff is eating in the kitchen with the family, and the dogs start getting jittery. And the sheriff, or the rookie Barney, I'm trying not to laugh. Anybody knows Andy Griffith knows Don Knotts. It is Don Knotts, right?
Don Knotts played Barney on Andy Griffith, that's correct. Not that this rookie deputy was a Barney type. We just gave him the Barney name, okay?
Well, the dogs are going crazy. They're barking at the front door. And the kitchen is in the back of the house. And, you know, the dogs are going crazy. They're barking. They're going ape shit. They're barking. And then they start whimpering. And sounds like something's not right. The female dog that gave birth to the pup that they died previously starts growling. Not barking, growling. The male dog's whimpering. She's growling. They all kind of step up out of the kitchen or off the kitchen table, peeking out through the hallway from the kitchen. Something's on the front porch. They hear claw walking all around the front of the porch. Then they hear it behind the back door. And they all have the blinds pulled in the kitchen. And the viewers have to realize, with all this strange crap going on, they have shutter blinds and they have curtain blinds, all of which are closed. All right? They hear walking all over their covered front porch. The front porch was covered from the front, the left side of the house, and the back side of the house. The right side of the house is where the driveway was. They only had a side door with an awning. They hear walking noises on all over the place around the covered front porch. As in 3, 4, 5 individuals walking heavily. You're hearing, I guess, claw mark clink noises. You hear scraping on the side of the house. Family's panicking. The deputy and they try to get on the cell phone. No cell service. They get on the home line, then they're starting to panic. The female dog is growling, like protective growling, like I will die for my masters. The mother, sharp-witted, is like, kids, get upstairs. And the deputy or the rookie was like, I agree, get upstairs. And he's not freaking out because all he had is his sidearm, shotgun, and at this time I think they started issuing assault rifles because of 9/11. And he actually had an assault rifle in the trunk of his vehicle, but had the shotgun in the front seat in the locked position they have in law enforcement vehicles. And he's like, oh my God, all I got is my .40 caliber Glock. And they were like, he was like, get upstairs. But he did have his radio on, and he made a radio call that really went to a nearby officer that was actually going down the main road. He's like, I need assistance here now. And get a hold of the sheriff. And they're all bunkered in the mom and dad's room, barricaded in. You hear sirens coming off in the distance. And he's on the radio. And you got to realize, anybody's in law enforcement, when there's a radio and you have 911 dispatch, all this and that, and, to dispatch, there's records of this, which were there, now they're not there. They miraculously vanished. Like this never happened. The sheriff gets a call. The sheriff's meeting with the father, meeting with the game warden, and the Bigfoot guy, and realizes, oh shit, this is happening at your place. They all got in the vehicle, hightailed it to the property. The sergeant that was supposed to work with the rookie hears this over his radio at his house and realizes, oh shit, I should have been there. I called in. He gets in the vehicle, his own personal vehicle, and goes. So you have an acting deputy who's already on the property who calls it in, and he's in his vehicle and he's giving a radio report like, all the lights are out, the barn lights out, all the lights out on the front porch are out, complete darkness. The only lights are on are inside the house. And the father's realizing why my cell phone's not ringing with the home line. So they all show up. They all get out. Game warden there carries a weapon. The father didn't have a weapon. The Bigfoot guy didn't have a weapon. But the sheriff, the game warden, and the other deputies and the acting sergeant showed up. They all got the weapon. And, on the radio, it's like, hey, rookie, come on out. We'll meet you at the front door. Because when they walk down the stairs, the hallways out the front door of the master bedroom, you walk down the whole hall, you have two doors on your left, two doors on the right. One door on the right is a bedroom, the other one's a bathroom. The two doors on the left are two other bedrooms. Then down the hall, angling to the right, down the stairs, is the stairs. Then to the left of that is the front door. To the right of the bottom of the stairs is the kitchen. You walk into the big den living room. Deputy walks down, hears a knock on the door. It's them. He opens the door, and what they see is claw marks all over the place. The lights have been busted. The phone jack has been ripped out off the outside wall. And they're doing a perimeter search. Well, now the sheriff called in backup. 2 state troopers show up. And they're, I'm not going to say in tactical gear, but one has an assault rifle, the other one has Jeremiah told us, a Mossberg Eagle semi-automatic shotgun, which the Marines use in combat. They're doing a perimeter search. You see claw marks all over the place. The wooden railing on the front porch has been demolished on certain places. The back door had claw marks, so apparently when they went upstairs, something was trying to get in. The front door and the back door, claw marks. The shutters are on the outside of the house. They were shut and locked. They always did it at nighttime. Some of them were destroyed, some of them were scratched, clawed through, but didn't bust the windows. And it just looked like animals, big, huge animals were trying to get in. And one of the roofs it was kind of destroyed, like it was been slammed down. Either like something got pissed off and slammed it down, or it was trying to climb up onto the covered porch to get up to one of the daughter's windows.
So at this point, do they kind of get an idea that this is not one, this is multiple of these animals?
They realize it's multiple assailants, suspects. This is not one individual, it's multiple individuals. But when they go over towards the barn, the light isn't unscrewed like it's been the past couple times. This thing was demolished. as in something jumped up, smacked it, ripped the canister of the light portion off. All you have is like the pipe portion out with the wiring. That it wasn't pulled down, something like jumped up and swatted at it.
This time it was not unscrewed, it was busted.
The only thing was left attached to the barn was the piping that the wiring housings left into. And they saw claw marks on the barn. They went, then these are the state police guys that are looking at this. Because now the game warden, the father, and the sheriff's department is looking around the house. You have the two state troopers that are looking around the barn. When they come around to the back of the barn where the fencing was destroyed, there's a door back there. It was completely ripped to shreds. Every goat, every animal inside the barn.
Now, refresh my memory here, Sebastian. If I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken here, but when Barney called for assistance and that first one showed up, didn't he think he saw something running off?
He saw somethings running.
Right, couldn't make it out because it was dark figures.
So when he approached down the long driveway, all right, when you come down this long driveway, to your 10, 11 o'clock is the barn. To your 1, 2 o'clock is the house. And the road the driveway kind of curves to the right to the house, goes straight towards the fenced in area, and veers off towards the left in the front of the barn. So it's a driveway that veers off and branches into 3 areas. When he came down, he saw something running from his 1 and 2 o'clock, running in between the house and the barn, and just scaled the fencing. And the fencing, we should have told people earlier, the way Jeremiah told us his story, it's not your normal fencing. That the height, after they've had all these animals missing, they raised it another 2 feet. So if it's 4 foot high, it's now 6 foot high. With concertina wire, barbed wire. And there's the gate right there. So anybody knows these gates, the gates are usually bigger, they're boxier to hold the force of the gates opening up. And it's a two open gate. Left gate, right gate, and you open it up so you can drive your vehicles in and stuff. This thing scaled it, and it was more than just one thing. It was 2 things. And he said, I swear to God, it looked like something I've seen out of, what's the movie? It's a werewolf movie where a bunch of werewolves, and they just jump over things. I can't remember. I don't know if it's Rise of the Lycans. I don't know. But the way Jeremiah said the guy in his written report described it was the way it was described of a movie scene. So it may not have been Rise of the Lycans because that was made afterwards, but it was something from a movie that was the guy and then we're getting attacked by wolves and how they scaled things and how they moved. He made mention of that.
And of course that report mysteriously disappeared as well.
Correct. And the only reason why we heard of this story is people, again, Jeremiah is a special forces guy. And he's done operations on American soil and off American soil. He's done operations. I can't call him a liar, but he's done missing people operations in a particular northeastern state that's near this area. That there's a big hairy man-like creature that is supposedly taking people.
So now they've all come out here. They're seeing these claw marks all over the place. So now, and they realize the next night, we're in the full moon stage. So the next night, I think it's supposed to be the night of where the full moon's at its peak.
Right.
So they know we're going to have to stake out here.
Correct. So now we're at the night of all hell breaks loose. Chaos night. I think chaos night, I wouldn't call it the night of horrors, I would call it chaos night.
That probably would be the best way to describe it, because it is, I kind of laugh now because I've already heard it, but it's
The rookie makes it funny. Yeah. But it's not funny, but what he says in his reaction, it's just like, if you're watching a movie, and if this was made into a movie, you would get a chuckle out of it. But you're senses of fear would still be elevated, but you would be like, oh my God, that's scary. But that was fun.
Now, any movie producers out there who by any chance are listening to this, take note. This would make excellent movies.
Just contact dravovane@gmail.com.
Yeah, we have other stories.